Hello, my soul friends, and welcome to your tarot reading. My name is Emery, and today we are going to figure out what your life purpose is. All you need to do to receive this psychic message is to pick one of these 4 piles in front of you, and to help you make that decision, I have a cute or interesting image on each of these piles that I'm going to show you up close. Whichever one strikes your fancy, that is going to be your pile. So let's look at them up close. Your first pile, pile 1, is a star. Pile 2 is a globe. Pile 3 is a bottle. Pile 4 are flowers. So whichever one struck your intuition, that is your pile. All you need to do now is go to the description or pinned comment for a link to the timestamp for that part of the video. Or if it's easier, you can scroll on the time bar to that chapter in the video. So let's go ahead and get started and find out what your life purpose is. Hello, my wonderful pile 1, my star pile. Welcome to your reading. We're going to go ahead and get started by pulling a few cards from the Work Your Light Oracle deck to get a general idea about what your life purpose might be and how you can work that life purpose. So, universe, what do you want pile 1 to know about working their life purpose? What would you like pile 1 to know? What would you like pile 1 to know? Okay, pile 1, your first card, it appears to be play, which is a pretty fun card. And here we have the wisdom message of have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. So it definitely seems that your life purpose is either not specifically to work, but to enjoy life, or that something that you do, some sort of purpose that you have, is meant to be fun. So let's get a little bit more information. The second card is the Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. So you are definitely meant to do something important, but whatever important thing you're meant to do, it's meant to be enjoyable. And perhaps the reason why you find it fun is the idea that when somebody is really good at something, they tend to learn to enjoy it. So not everything that's fun comes without effort, and not everything you start doing that you don't like, you hate forever. Sometimes getting really good at something helps you to see all the nuances of that thing, so that way you can learn to enjoy it. And since this is about lifetimes, this is an indication that at least in some of your past lifetimes, what you're meant to do in this lifetime is very similar. So that is something to be aware of. It's going to feel as if you're coming home when you are pursuing this life purpose. It's going to feel familiar, and that familiarity is going to be comforting, but also it's going to be reassuring because you're going to know you're doing the right thing because you're having fun, and you feel almost like a child, like it's very easy to you. The third card is Mintaken, longing for home, belonging, the original Lightworkers. So this is just another confirmation that you are meant to do something that makes you feel easy, something that you can do quite well and you don't have to work really, really hard at. I do think perhaps in your past lifetimes you've worked really, really hard at it. And just as an example, this isn't going to be true for everyone in this pile, but let's say somebody in this pile, over 10 past lives, they have had a hobby of art, and in this life, they've been working on it so much, they've been swirling all these wonderful ideas in their lives that they've been carrying again and again and again into their new lives, and it's in this life where they're able to really make something from it. Like, this is the life where this is going to be the pinnacle of that thing. And this is going to be the case for you. Although what you're doing is going to be fun, what you're doing is going to be enjoyable, it's going to feel easy. The reason why it feels easy is because you are doing something related to that in many lifetimes. And so it's going to feel easy to you because you just have a lot of past life experience doing that thing. And of course, technology and society changes throughout the generations, so there is going to be a sense of newness in this life. Whatever you're meant to do in this life, even though you have some experience, this specific life, this specific incarnation, you are going to have a lot of novelty and you're going to work with that novelty. So even though it's going to be very familiar, at the same time, you are going to experience a lot of new and exciting things too. So now what I want to do, pile one, is pull 4 cards from the Muse Tarot to figure out how your muses, how your spirit guides, your spiritual team, the universe, is trying to help you discover what this fun thing is. So, universe, what do you want pile one to know about their life purpose? How are you hinting towards it in their life? What messages are you sending? What messages are you sending to pile one? What do you want them to know? What are your hints? Okay, pile one, your first pile is Temperance reversed. So whatever you're meant to do, whatever is fun for you, it's going to come in spurts and bursts, and it's not always going to be predictable. And a really good example of this in life is someone who is a writer. Again, not everyone in this pile is perhaps going to be creative, or at least not be a writer. So when I say things are coming in like spurts, imagine a writer who has an idea for a book and then they write whenever inspiration strikes rather than according to a schedule. Now, it is really tempting to assume that your life purpose is going to be something that you can do every single day without fail, but it seems like whatever your life purpose is, it's not going to happen every single day. It's going to happen occasionally. So for some of you in this pile, this could be a strong indication that your life purpose may not be a job, or if it is a job, it's a job where you're self-employed or where there's a lot of pauses in between work, such as a writer, an artist, anything like that. So be aware that you can't be expected to do whatever your life purpose is every day at a specific time for a number of hours. And if you feel as if your life purpose has to be that because everyone says you need to write 500 words a day or something like that, that's not the case. For some people, it really is. You can only work on it, pursue your life purpose when you are feeling inspired. And that, I think, is strongly indicated by the desire to play. You want to pursue your life purpose when you're having fun. You don't want to feel pressured. You don't want to feel as if you're just doing work because you have to. You want everything you do, everything you make, everything you act or interact with to be meaningful and just empowered with your energy. And if you're just pursuing your life purpose every day because it's a habit, you're probably not going to have that wonderful energy infused into it. The second card is Awakening. This is a spiritual card. This is a sign that your life purpose is going to be tied to your spirituality. And for some of you, you may have already had a spiritual awakening, or you're in the process of having one, so you're getting your hints already. But if you have not already had your spiritual awakening, what this card is saying is that you're going to get more clarity through your spiritual practice or through some sort of eureka moment. And so what I want you to take away, the actionable takeaway from this card, is that you need to have some sort of spiritual outlet. It could be something really simple like journaling or meditating, but some of you may belong to a traditional religion or you have your own spiritual practice. It's really up to you. Just make sure that you have some sort of regular spiritual practice that you do at least 2 to 4 times a month. That way you can really connect with your higher self and know what the universe, what your destiny is hoping you do, and your spiritual practice will help you tap into that more than if you just try to do things because it's the next chapter of your life. So sometimes, for example, people will pursue a specific career because it makes really good money or it's what their family expects, but it's not what the person is drawn to. And while your life purpose may not be tied to your career, you may fall victim to the same idea to where you do things just because you're expected to do them. You have hobbies because other people in your life have those hobbies, and there may be something different about you. So make sure that you are doing that spiritual practice, that you are having that mindful moments in your life where you are really being one with yourself and your higher self, because it'll help put your life and your future and your life purpose into perspective. The next card is the 3 of Emotions reverse. This is a really strong sign that whatever your life purpose is, it's not tied to your social group. It may also be something that you do independently. Now, that doesn't mean that other things you do with people aren't meaningful, they aren't part of your destiny, but your life purpose, at least the big life purpose you're thinking about right now, isn't going to be a social life purpose. It's going to be something where you are alone with your thoughts and you're using your thoughts to do something. Now, this could also be a sign of something that's one-on-one, so a therapist, anything like that. So while it's not like this big social thing, it is going to be something that is either one-on-one or is independent. So keep that in mind. Your life purpose is going to be more solitary or one-on-one than most things. The next card is the Death reverse card. This is about not making any major changes, and when it comes to your life purpose and your spread, it is a sign that what you think your life purpose is, it is something that's already really close to you. And obviously this card is a sign that it is about your past lives, but in particular in this life, it is going to be related to something you're already doing or something you did in your past, like your childhood. So definitely look into your hobbies because those tend to be fun, and that is going to be where you find your life purpose. And I want to workshop something for you. Let's say this isn't going to be true for everyone in a pile, but it's going to be an example of how it could work out. Let's say someone in this pile really loved soccer as a kid, but they are 40 years old, so they're obviously not going to be a professional soccer player. So what could their life purpose be if it's obviously related to soccer? Perhaps their life purpose is to create a soccer website where they help soccer fans. For people who are in America, it's football, but who create a soccer or a football site for fans to go to for resources. Maybe it is to go to an exciting game and really experiencing a personal enjoyment of the game itself. Like you go to games, and even though there's a lot of crowds at games, it's a really personal experience. But something like that. Be aware that whatever your life purpose is, it may not be tied to a career, so stop trying to tie it to a career. It may be something that continues to be a hobby or continues to be a side project. Now what I'm going to do, pile 1, is get some advice from your angels. We're going to pull 2 cards here, 2 cards to figure out what some sort of guiding messages your angels have for you on your life purpose. So pile 1's angels, what do you want them to know about their life purpose? What would you like pile 1 to know about their life purpose? What blessings do you have for them today? What blessings do you have for them? What would you like them to know? Okay, your first of 2 cards is ask and receive. So your angels are really telling you to ask when you want something. And I think you almost feel like you don't have permission to pursue things. And because you feel like you don't have permission, you are going to say no to your inner desires. So, for example, that person who really loves soccer, football, let's just use baseball to not be confusing. This person who likes baseball thinks that they can't pursue anything baseball related because they are too old. But if this person really asks the universe, their angels, their spirit guides for help, their spiritual team will guide them to a way to make that life purpose a reality in some form. So there's going to be, I think, a few options in how your life purpose can manifest. So really interact with your spirit guides, your angels, the universe, all those wonderful, wonderful spiritual team members to figure out what you are going to enjoy and what you have room for in your life. Because I do sense whatever your life purpose is, unless you're going to be self-employed or something, it's going to be on the side. So it's going to be something you feel you don't have permission to pursue, but you do have permission to pursue it. You just need to go through the ritualistic ask of asking. That way the universe can give it to you and you feel like you have the right to receive it. The next card is signs and reminders. I think your angels are going to send messages to you. They are going to try to remind you to pursue your life purpose, to trust in your life purpose. And there's a part of you who is ignoring these messages, but your angels are going to get really, really insistent. Now, for some of you, these messages aren't going to start appearing until you pursue your spirituality or you have your awakening. But once that does take place, you just need to look in your environment and you are going to see the universe constantly sending you ideas and messages confirming that it's your life purpose. So let's say this baseball fan who knows that baseball is somehow their life purpose, but they can't be a professional baseballer. They might keep getting ideas about cool baseball related pursuits like creating a blog or collecting baseball cards, a whole bunch of weird and random things. And it is really your angels spitballing and brainstorming a bunch of ideas for you to try out, to figure out which one is going to work for you. And you really just need to listen to their ideas. They're really trying a bunch of things, and because they're giving you options, if there's one that you don't like, you can just reject it. And if there is something that sounds exciting to you, you can ask about it and the universe will give you ways. Your angels will give you ways for how to pursue that. So just be aware that it is possible. You just need to trust yourself, trust your angels, your spirit guides, the universe, and they will do everything they can to make that a reality for you. So the next thing we are going to do is pull 3 cards from the spell casting oracle deck to figure out how you can manifest your life purpose. So universe, how can pile 1 manifest their life purpose? What can they do to manifest their life purpose? What can be done? Okay. Your first of 3 cards is manifestation. This is a sign that you should definitely use law of attraction and other manifesting techniques. It is perhaps going to be a really good way for you to engage with your own personal spiritual practice in a method that feels more tangible. So, for example, if you were maybe a Christian, let's just use that as an example, you may feel that going to church, singing in the choir, praying, it doesn't really feel like it manifests enough. So if you were to use the law of attraction, you would have a a template, a method to productively work towards it in a way that is spiritually aligned. So keep that in mind. And you don't have to do everything in the law of attraction space. You may just find that you need one thing. Maybe it's a vision board, maybe it's scripting, maybe it is affirmations, but do something and stick to it, because it is going to help you see it come into fruition. It's going to help you manifest it and make it tangible in your reality. The next card is home. So you need to make your home a comfortable place. And I think the reason why that is so important in your spread today is that your life purpose is more solitary or one-on-one, and it is more hobby related. So whatever your life purpose is, it's probably going to take place in your own home or in a place that feels like home. And so you need to make sure there is a space or a room for you to pursue that. If you have a really noisy home or a home that isn't productive to that, you may need to find a home away from home where you can do that. But you need to feel at ease in this space. So definitely consider setting aside a space to pursue your life purpose, because you are going to able to manifest it a lot better that way. So a room of your own, essentially. The third card is talent. So whatever your life purpose is, you have an innate talent to do that. And for some of you, this is obviously going to be a sign that it is creative, but let's go back to that baseball example. Someone whose life purpose is baseball, but they are now too old to be a professional baseball player. How does talent work in? So the simple fact is that this person probably knows a lot about baseball, and their expertise is a talent, and they would be able to use that talent in a way that helps them stand out from the crowd. Again, there's an anti-crowd energy here. And I do sense that you are someone who really stands out. You are someone who is really respectable, or is an icon almost. You stand apart from everybody. And part of you pursuing your life purpose is recognizing that not only is this something that you enjoy doing, but that you have the ability to do something new. You have the ability to do something nobody else has done before. And part of that comes from just pursuing something related to this across many lifetimes. And I really think you need to recognize that you have untapped talent, and if you don't pursue it in this life, you are going to feel frustrated. So even though for a lot of you, whatever this is a side project or a hobby, you may think it is not meaningful, you may think it's not extraordinary. But for example, there are many famous authors who had a day job, and yet the books that they wrote, the poems that they wrote, changed the world. And I sense something similar for you. You may have a day job, but your day job isn't your life purpose. Your hobby is your life purpose. And some of you are going to figure out a way to make that your primary job, but it's okay if it's not your primary job. Your life purpose is to experience that. And since this feels more like a side thing, more like a fun thing, I don't want you to create goals. Now that may seem odd. Why wouldn't you create a goal? You can have ambiguous goals, you can have vague goals, but you don't want to have concrete career-related goals. So let's say this baseball person wants to create a baseball website. Not make it the best website ever, not have 100,000 visitors every single day, just make a baseball website that they update often. That could be the extent of your life purpose goal, because your job is to experience this. Your job is to play with it. Your job is to work on it randomly, sporadically, when you're inspired, instead of according to a schedule. So go ahead and free yourself from the expectations of routines, and you'll be a lot happier with your life purpose that way. Now, the last thing we're going to do today is pull 2 cards from the Super Attractor Oracle to figure out how you can attract your life purpose towards you more successfully. So, universe, how can pile 1 better attract their life purpose into their life? How can pile 1 better attract their life purpose? What can pile 1 do to attract their life purpose? And pile 1, I really don't sense that pursuing your life purpose is hard. I think that you are setting up roadblocks for yourself because there is this fun element, this hobby element, this non-routine element. You are allowed to pursue your life purpose on your own terms. You don't have to pursue it just whenever you feel like it. So the first of 2 cards is true manifestations are powered by service and love. So when it comes to manifesting something, it helps to not take, it helps to give. So when you're trying to manifest your life purpose, one of the things that you should really focus on is how your life purpose can give back to the world. Yes, you enjoy your life purpose. Yes, you have fun with it, but how can other people have fun with it? So let's go back to that baseball example. If this person made it their life purpose to create a baseball website, then they would be creating something of value for other people to enjoy. And so each time they see someone commenting that they really liked this article or this infographic or whatever it is, that person would feel like they are really being seen in their life purpose. So I do think there is some sort of audience element to your life purpose because you're meant to engage with other people. For some of you, it won't be directly, it'll be anonymously or through a pen name or through like you create something and you push it out into the world and then people receive it. But whatever you are doing, you need to put love in it and you need to think about the person who is going to receive that manifestation on the other end, because if you do that, you are going to be more rewarded. You are going to be able to attract that more because you are going to see the purpose of what you are doing. Your last card today is, instead of worrying about the future, I know all is well when I'm aligned in the moment. So this goes back to not having a routine and not having goals. You really need to think about pursuing your life purpose as a hobby, as a pastime, as a side project. Even if for example, you are someone who decides to make it your career, it probably shouldn't be something that you do for 8 hours a day. It needs to be something you do when you feel inspired, or just a few hours a day, because if you are making it your 9 to 5, literally your 9 to 5, you are going to burn yourself out. You are going to be totally focused on how you're going to pad out all those hours. And I want you to not think in terms of hours. I want you to think in terms of, what can I have fun with today? Because if you do that, I promise you, your life purpose is going to turn into something way more beautiful than you could have ever expected. And that's simply because you're meant to enjoy it as play and not as work. So, pile 1, if this reading resonated with you today, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more. You can also go into the description or pinned comments for links to my socials or my Ko-Fi to tip if you really appreciated it. Otherwise, pile 1, I am so glad to have been with you for this reading today. I am glad to see that you have such a fun life purpose, and I hope that you look forward to it. Otherwise, pile 1, I can't wait to see you again. Hello, pile 2, my globe pile, and welcome to your reading. We are going to go ahead and get started by pulling 3 cards from the Work Your Light Oracle deck to figure out a general idea of what your life purpose could be. So, universe, what do you want pile 2 to know about their life purpose? How can they work it into their lives? How can pile 2 work their life purpose into their lives? What do they need to know? All right, your first card, pile 2, is Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, and Teacher. So this can mean a few things, but there is a strong sense that you are going to have some sort of social network, either some people that you meet often or people that you are connected to, perhaps through an online community or some sort of professional network. So let's pull one more card. We have Lemuria, which is creating heaven on earth. It's happening. Okay, I'm definitely getting a strong sense here that the mystic part of your last card is being activated. There's going to be something spiritual related. And then your third card is the crumbling. What are you clinging on to? So my perception, my strong inclination when I'm seeing these cards is going to be life coaching, being a psychologist, or something spirituality related. It could be something where you are helping other people. I am reminded of what a lot of psychology majors say, that the reason they go into psychology is because they want to figure out what is wrong with them. But even though there's a selfish element to what they're studying, they also want to help other people. They want to figure out why they are themselves in pain and then help others heal. So this is actually an astrological placement I myself have. I have Chiron in the 10th house of Cancer, which is an indication that I'm wounded, so I want to help other people heal. And by helping other people, I heal myself. This is something that's really common in people who take on spirituality or psychological, like counseling careers. Sometimes it's also present in creative people. And I think all three of those is possible in your spread with this life purpose. But your essential goal is you recognize that there is something in your life that is broken or isn't what it could be, and you're trying to fix that. But you aren't just trying to fix yourself, you are trying to help other people. Once you become wise to whatever you're struggling with, you are going to help them either avoid that pain or also overcome it. So you are definitely some sort of healer, either directly through being in the medical field, being in the health field, like a psychiatrist or counseling. You could be in a spiritual field or creative field, something like that, but you are going to take a healing position. Now, let's use a creative example. Let's say someone in this pile really was damaged in a romantic relationship and they really love romantic novels. And so they want to write romantic novels with healthy relationships. That way, a person would know what to look for. That is what I am seeing in this pile. You are trying to heal other people using whatever your life purpose is, and I strongly sense that this is also going to be your career. So what I want to do now is pull 4 cards from the Muse Tarot to get some more ideas, more details about what this life purpose is going to manifest for you, what's going to happen. Universe, what does pile 2 need to know about their life purpose? How are they going to heal others? How is pile 2 going to heal others? Okay. All right, your first card is the Page of Voices. This is similar to the Page of Swords in a traditional tarot deck, and this is often something that you see in a communicator, which I think makes sense with your spread, and it could also be seen in writing or a public speaker, but you are definitely either a communicator or a creator, and you're going to use your words. I'm definitely getting a stronger indication of words than art. You could do art, but I'm strongly leaning towards communication, writing, speaking, content creation, something like that. That is more likely what you are meant to do. The next card is the Knight of Voices. This is really about carrying your message forward. You may encounter people who either receive your message or inspire your message. Your third card is the Sun reversed, which is a temporary pain, which I think makes sense with your spread. And then your fourth card is the Page of Materials reversed, which is about not doing something for money. So now that we have these 4 cards together, because I really sense that they're all interconnected, what I am sensing is that you are doing your life purpose not to make money, but to help other people. So for some of you, you may not have a job that makes millions of dollars. You may make just enough to be comfortable. I don't want you to suffer, but you need to recognize that you aren't going to get fulfillment from making money. So even if you are someone who is lucky to where you sell a book and it does really well, it doesn't matter how many copies you sell, because what you get fulfillment from is knowing that you healed other people. So you need to really focus on your goals, your planning, and all of that towards how you are helping other people. And you need to have some sort of way to see how that is helping other people. So I wouldn't focus so much, as an example, if you were a book writer, on how many books are sold, but on the comments. And obviously, you would probably need to ignore the book reviews that are needlessly critical, that are just trolling, and instead focus on the reviews that say how this book changed your life, and really collect those. So whether you are helping someone directly or you are creating something, perhaps a book or a course or some sort of content that people consume, you need to focus less on the numbers of your monetary or success in numbers and more on the quality. So in research, there is basically 2 sides. There's quantitative research and qualitative research. Quantitative research generally is about collecting a bunch of numbers, and qualitative research is about sort of collecting experiences, and sometimes there's going to be less people involved. So in quantitative research, you often try to have a sample size of about 2,000 people, but qualitative research might only have 20, 30 people, and you really analyze what those reports give to create a qualitative summary of what is occurring. And I sense something similar. So instead of trying to aim for 50,000 book reviews on Goodreads, you are trying to collect a small portfolio of book reviews where the reader explained how your book changed their life. So this is something you really need to focus on, is how people are being transformed rather than how you are being transformed. And I think this is going to be a struggle for you, and this is why the Sun reversed card showed up. At first, you are going to be focusing on yourself, on your pain, and how you can succeed. But once you reverse that, once you focus on the people you are trying to heal, things are really going to change for you. You are going to see that your life purpose isn't about making you popular. It isn't about just answering your own questions. It is about helping other people. So focus on collecting evidence for how you are helping others. And once you do that, you are going to completely alter your approach to your life purpose to be something that is in service of others. You are going to be a better communicator, and that is going to create whatever you're doing, you're going to do it a lot better. So just be aware of that. You are going to figure out a way to heal yourself. You are probably going to stroke your ego a little bit, but the purpose is that you are helping other people. And I also think, because of this Sisterhood of the Rose card, that you are going to have peers, you are going to have coworkers, either directly, for example, if you are a therapist, you might work in an office with other people, or you might belong to a professional organization. But for some of you, this sisterhood, this professional network might be a writing group, it might be an online community, and you really, by interacting with them, you are going to be able to talk about your personal things, but you're also going to be able to push to be your best teacher, your best healer. You are going to be reminded that it's not just about stroking your ego, it is about healing other people. So keep all of that in mind, pile 2. Now what I want to do is pull 2 cards from the Angel Guide Oracle to get some blessings from your angels, some reminders, whatever they want you to know about how you can pursue your life purpose. Your life purpose is pretty specific compared to pile 1, but I think that could give you a little bit more clarity too. So, pile 2's angels, what do you want them to know? Pile 2's angels, what would you like them to know? So your first card is opportunity and change. I think your angels are going to give you some unexpected opportunities. You may not know that you're meant to take them, and that's because these opportunities are going to change your life. So, for example, because this spread is similar to my own life, I became disabled because of a sleep disorder, so I could no longer pursue the traditional career that I trained for, but it helped me learn that I needed to be a tarot reader and help guide people that way. So you are going to have some sort of unexpected change in your life. I hope it's not going to be as disruptive as what I experienced or annoying, but don't be afraid of these opportunities that can radically transform your life, because it is going to transform your life for the better. So don't be afraid for your life to change. If you aren't afraid for your life to change, you are going to have a much easier transition into this healer role, this healer life purpose, and it's going to be a lot more fun for you. It's going to be a lot easier, and it's not going to be as frustrating. So be open to changes, and the opportunities that you're faced with are going to be exciting instead of scary. Your next card is the Cut the Cords. Okay, so this is a strong sign, pile 2, that yes, you are going to have some sort of radical change in your life, and you are going to have to say no to something that you pursued in the past. So let's use an example. Let's say that someone in this pile is meant to write poetry. And obviously that means that they need to either join the academic track in colleges, or that they need to get a day job and pursue poetry on the side. They're obviously not going to make money from it, but the reason they want to write poetry is that they can use their own life struggles and create beautiful poems that will inspire other people who are experiencing the same. But in order for them to do that, they need to let go of something else. Perhaps they need to let go of the idea that they are going to be a fantasy novelist, or they need to cut the cord that they are going to have an office job, or that they are going to be an editor for a fashion magazine, which would obviously take up a lot of time. And I think you need to recognize that whatever it is about being a healer, it is going to be your focus, your life focus. And while you might have a related job that helps pay the bills, it's going to be a related job. So you need to recognize that for you, cutting the cords is about cutting your cords to material desires. And it's not necessarily going to be a sign that you're going to be poor. For example, a poetry professor at a university is almost certainly going to be a middle-class person. It can be quite a comfortable life as long as the person was responsible with their spending when they were going to college. But the point is that when you cut these cords, you are cutting the cords to your distractions. You are cutting the cords that are taking you away from healing other people, that are just stroking your ego. And it's actually not going to be an easy thing for you. You're probably hearing this now and you're thinking, oh, I can totally cut these cords. Like, it's not going to hurt at all. I'm going to see this opportunity and it's going to be scary, but I'm totally going to change my life. I'm totally going to cut out what doesn't serve me. But that's actually going to be a struggle for you. And I want you to know that when you do encounter this struggle, that doesn't mean that you should give up. You should persevere and you should really work with your ego and your desire for material goods, because pursuing that materialism, pursuing your ego isn't going to make you happy. Your fulfillment is going to come from healing other people. So let's use an example of someone having a midlife crisis, someone who recognized this was something they were meant to do. Let's say that they are a mechanic, and being a mechanic is a great job. They really like it. They like doing all the little things with all the gadgets and helping people fix their cars, but fixing cars isn't fixing people, and it's something that is causing them to feel unfulfilled. And so what this person would need to do is move into a career where they are helping people. And even though they love being a mechanic, it doesn't fulfill their existential need, and that is something you need to recognize. Whatever you're cutting the cord on, it's probably going to be something you enjoy to some degree, but it's not giving you ultimate meaning, and that is what you need to move towards. You need to move towards a life purpose where you are healing others, because that is going to make you feel settled. That is going to make you feel fulfilled. So try not to be tempted by money or other things you enjoy. You need to have some sort of way to pursue your healing path, and that is something you need to do. So the next thing we're going to do is pull 3 cards from the Spellcasting Oracle for how you can manifest this life purpose. So, universe, how can pile 2 manifest their life purpose? How can pile 2 manifest their life purpose? What can pile 2 do to manifest their life purpose? So your first card is inspiration. You need to pay attention to what your inner self, your higher self, your spiritual side is saying. And it's really easy to ignore this. It's really easy to ignore it because the universe, well, not the universe, society is often telling you to think logically. And I think most of the time you should do that. You should absolutely be practical. You should do all of those things. But your inner self is telling you what you want, what your preferences are. And if you ignore what your preferences are, you are going to live a life that's comfortable, live a life where you do enjoy some things, but you aren't going to have meaning. So what you're going to want to do is have some sort of way to capture your burst of inspiration. This could be a journal, it could be a vision board, it could be affirmations that you write down, but you need to have some sort of way to capture your inner thoughts and collect them. That way you can see what your inner self is really desiring rather than what the outer world is telling you to pursue. So definitely start working on that. If you have some sort of way to capture those thoughts, you are going to be able to pursue your life better, and you're going to know where you need to cut the cords. For example, that mechanic may really like that being a mechanic pays the bills. They may like helping people, but they may realize that at the end of the day, they're frustrated that all they're working on is machinery, and they would know, you know what, maybe I should go back to school to be a counselor, or maybe I should write a book about fixing cars that is also a philosophical manual. I think there's maybe a book called the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance or something crazy like that, to where it seems like it's just like a mechanical guide, but apparently it's a philosophical guide, that is something that could work out for you, work out for that mechanic. You need to heal people in order to be satisfied. So make sure that whatever your capture method is, you are getting to the bottom of how you can heal other people. The next card is love. Now, I'm really getting a sense that this isn't about loving what you do. This is about romantic love, and it's a little bit separate from your spread. And I think that's significant. I think that you need to become a whole person. You can't just be a broken person. Broken people can heal other people, but that's because they themselves either know why they are broken or they have healed themselves. And for you, I sense that you need to prioritize love, especially romantic love, because that is going to help you be a rounded person. It's going to help you walk away from your job, because healing other people can be exhausting, and you need to be in a romantic relationship so that way you feel as if like you are being seen, because the people you are healing, they aren't going to be an equal to you. They are going to be someone that you are assisting. So there's always going to be sort of like this student-teacher relationship that's really difficult to transcend. So having this separate romantic relationship, friendships and family as well, but this romantic relationship where you have a partner is going to help you feel emotionally seen, and you're going to be able to share things about your life that you can never share with the people that you are healing. So I really want you to focus on building that romantic relationship. If you already have that romantic relationship, I want you to prioritize it. So for example, maybe someone in this pile's life purpose is to write poetry. Okay, they become a poetry professor, that's great, but they are also in a romantic relationship with someone they really, really love, and this person gets a really good paying job that'll really support the family and the household, but it will require moving. And this person is thinking, do I need to break up with this person because I am already a poetry professor? I have tenure at my university and I don't want to give it up. But they also don't want to give up their romantic partner. And really what you need to recognize is that this romantic person, if your relationship is otherwise healthy, should take priority. This poetry professor could perhaps find a job at a university nearby, or maybe they could start creating workshops or having some sort of literary magazine that they run, something like that. Understand that yes, you should prioritize your life purpose, but you also should put your relationships even above that, because those relationships are going to give you personal meaning. Personal meaning and existential meaning are different things. You need personal meaning and you need to prioritize that in your life in order to pursue your existential life purpose. So it's okay to put the people in your life first over your life purpose. In this case, in this spread, that's perfectly okay. You are allowed to make that sacrifice. The third card here is the blessings card. The universe is going to send you blessings. The universe is going to try to make things easier for you. And I do think that is going to be because of your romantic relationship. You are probably going to make compromises on your career and your life purpose in order to really help out your spouse, your children, your family, your friends. And because of that, you are going to miss opportunities at times, but I think the universe is going to send other opportunities your way. And like I said before, that poetry professor, there's not a lot of openings to be a poetry professor in this country. If a person were to move away from the university they got a job at, they might never get another job as a poetry professor again. But in this case, the universe would send similar opportunities, and they're going to be able to prioritize their life purpose, but in second place. It's okay to make your life purpose second place to your emotional life, because your emotional life is also important, and I want you to prioritize that in your case. The universe will take care of the rest. Now I'm going to pull 2 cards from the Super Attractor Oracle deck for how you can better attract your life purpose and how you can manifest it. So, universe, how can pile 2 manifest their life purpose? How can they attract it better? What can pile 2 do to attract their life purpose? What can pile 2 do? All right, pile 2, your first card. Your first card is, when I cultivate a spiritual connection, I can trust the universe no matter what. So overall, in your spread, there is a strong spiritual connection. Many of you are either going to have a spirituality related career, or you are going to use your spirituality to inspire you with your creativity, or to give you hope when it comes to like counseling or something like that, because you're probably dealing with other broken people and you need that emotional support from the universe. But when it comes to having a spiritual connection on a personal level, it is going to help you feel confident that things are going to work out, because you are putting your life purpose second to your emotional needs. You are going to have to trust the universe to fill in the gap. And the way that you can do that is by having a regular spiritual routine. Now, this doesn't have to be overly complicated. It could be a daily prayer practice, an affirmation practice. It could be meditation, whatever you need, but it needs to be regular and it needs to be consistent, whether that is once a day, once a week, a few times a month, anything like that. And the reason why is you are going to have an open line to the universe. You are going to be practicing mindfulness, and you are going to be in a space to where you can receive messages from your spiritual team reassuring you that blessings are on the way. And your last card today is, each time I choose to tune into spirit, guidance of the highest truth shows up for me. So you have a life purpose that is focused on helping other people, and because of that, you have a responsibility. Now, the universe is indicating that it's okay for you to make that responsibility second place in your life, but you need to make sure that whatever you choose to pursue as your life purpose, however that takes form, creativity, counseling, healing, spiritual, whatever it is, that it needs to be aligned to a moral truth. So you need to really know what your core principles are, and that should be aligned to your spiritual practice. So, for example, obviously, if you are belonging to a traditional religion, or if you are spiritual but not religious, you're going to have a pretty good idea of what this is going to be. But let's say that you don't believe in a specific religion, that perhaps you're an atheist, and so you're wondering how you can take a humanist element towards whatever this is. And what you need to recognize is you need to have a concrete manifestation of your core principles. So for people who are spiritual, that's going to work out perhaps in their spiritual texts. It's going to work out in a regular spiritual practice. But for those of you who don't have that, you might want to write down what your core principles are and then review them often, because if you do that, you are going to know if what you're doing for your job, for your life purpose is aligned to that. So, for example, let's go back to that romance writer. Let's say that romance writer, their goal is obviously to write romance books that inspire readers to only pursue relationships that are healthy. But what happens if there is a trend in the romance writing community, and that trend is an unhealthy writing trope that would inspire readers to do something that's not good for them, and it makes a lot of money. But if this person knew what their core principles were, they would know that they can't pursue that particular trope, or if they pursued that particular trope in their writing, they would twist it in order to be a healthier expression. So that's what I want you to recognize. You need to know your core principles either by pursuing your spirituality, or if you're having a more atheistic spirituality, knowing what those core principles are and reviewing them often. That way you are always certain you are following that. So otherwise, pile 2, you have a pretty exciting and fairly specific spread when it comes to your life purpose. If you resonated with this reading, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more. You can also go into the comments or the pinned comment in the description of the video for links to my socials or to my Ko-Fi if you would like to tip because you really appreciated the reading. Otherwise, pile 2, I hope that this reading helped you. I really liked being with you for this reading today, and I can't wait to see you again. Hello, pile 3, my bottle pile. Welcome to your reading. We are going to go ahead and get started with the Work Your Light Oracle deck to get a general idea of how you can work your light into your life purpose. So, universe, what does pile 3 need to know about their life purpose? What is important for them to know? What would you like pile 3 to know? What is crucial to be known? Okay, pile 3, your first card is yes. Just say yes. Here the universe is telling you that you need to be more open to the opportunities that are being sent your way. It seems like right now, or perhaps in the past, that you have said no a lot, even though the opportunity that was sent your way would have improved your life and would have excited you. Now, I don't want you to dwell on your regrets too much, but if you can today, spend some time thinking about things you've regretted and recognize that you have been given opportunities in the past and you've rejected them. Maybe you had good reasons at the time, maybe you didn't, but what I want you to know is that those aren't going to be the only opportunities you get. The universe is going to send you more, and all you need to do is just say yes. The next card is boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So perhaps one of the reasons why you are so afraid to say yes is that you are trying to set boundaries in your life because you know there are takers or there are really annoying things that are just driving you mad and you don't know how to make your life better. But I think the reason why you are saying no to the opportunities that are coming your way is that you think anything good is probably a trick. You have probably been fooled in the past or been taken advantage of. So you're afraid to get outside of your comfort zone. And of course, when I say your comfort zone, I'm not saying your current life is perfect, but what I am saying is that your current life is predictable even in its unpredictability. And you're afraid to go into a new situation because you won't know how to act. You won't know how to protect yourself. But what you need to understand with your life purpose is that you are definitely rejecting something that's good, and that is causing you a lot of strife. So your life purpose is out there, but there are obstacles in your path, and you are partly responsible for them, but you're also responding to troubles in your past. The third card is Dance with Life. Do something to change your energy. So for you, determining what your life purpose is and really stepping into that life purpose will really require you to raise your vibration. Now, there are a lot of ways to raise your vibration, and you've probably heard about it before if you've ever looked up law of attraction or anything into spirituality, and why a lot of what they say is true. Honestly, the simple thing to raising your vibration is to increase your happiness. And what this card is asking you to do is to find things that make you happy, that make life worth living. I think that you aren't as enthusiastic about life as you could be, you're afraid to put yourself out there, you're afraid to try things that excite you, and you are just doing the same old, same old. And that's not saying that the things that you're doing now aren't enjoyable, but that there is more joy out there and you aren't pursuing that. And because you're not pursuing that, you're not able to see opportunities. So one thing that's going to be really helpful for you to do over the next few weeks is to write down anytime you are inspired to do something, even if you don't follow through. Let's say you see a recipe for baking cookies and you don't bake cookies, but you think at the time, wow, I would really like to bake those cookies. Or maybe you are out shopping and you see a beautiful dress or a beautiful pair of pants and you would really, really like it, but you don't buy it. Or maybe you are out with some friends and you hear your friend talk about this amazing new company that is looking for employees and you think, I would like to work there, but then you don't apply. These are all things that excite you that you should either be saying yes to or recognizing that they are of an interest to you. And then I want you to collect all those things and maybe do some of those things that you initially said no to. That way you can try them out, or do something similar. Maybe you see that cookie recipe and it really excited you, but you can't find it again. Perhaps you can look for another cookie recipe, or even one that you would prefer better. But the point here is that you really need to focus on things that you enjoy and things that you choose either in the moment to do because they excite you, or you plan to do them later on in the future. So enthusiasm for you is important, in acting on your interests to live out an enthusiastic life will really help you step into your life purpose. So it seems like with these 3 cards so far, we're not seeing a specific life purpose yet, but that's because there seems to be obstacles in your way for you to live that out. So what I want to do now is pull 4 cards from the Muse Tarot to figure out any more details about this situation. If there's more things you need to do to encounter your life purpose, or if there's anything the universe can tell you specifically about your life purpose today. So, universe, what would you like pile 3 to know about their life purpose? What would be really helpful for them to know right now? What advice do you have for pile 3? Okay, your first card is the 8 of Emotions reversed. In some decks, this would be the 8 of Cups reversed. And this is about returning to something that makes you feel emotionally whole. So you aren't exactly starting something completely new that you've never done before. So on one hand, you don't have to be scared that whatever you are inspired to do is completely alien to you. Maybe you get inspired to jump off a bridge with a bungee cord, but that's definitely not you, and it was just a fleeting fancy. If you don't want to do something completely new or completely outrageous to you, that is perfectly fine. It seems like the universe is saying, pick something comfortable, but pick something that you haven't done either in a while, or it's something you really wanted to do in the past. So maybe 5 years ago, you wanted to pick up painting, but you never did. Maybe now would be the time to pick up painting. Something along those terms. It needs to be something that you think would be emotionally fulfilling. And for some of you, this could also be a sign to return to past relationships. Maybe there is an ex that you were romantically involved with that you would like to try dating again. Maybe there is a friend you knew as a child that you could reconnect with. Anything like that, that is a possibility with this card. The next card is the Ace of Materials. This is definitely about starting something new and something tangible, something with physical proof. So whatever you decide to go back to, whatever new thing you decide to try enthusiastically, you need to collect it basically. So if you were to start painting, you would have a portfolio of paintings. if you were applying for a new job, you would write down a list of everywhere you applied. You need some physical proof that you are acting out. Now, also with these two cards, I want you to notice that it's not specifically saying a particular thing you go back to as your life purpose. It's more so about the journey. For example, someone may start painting and maybe they do realize that they want to do painting as their life purpose. Or maybe they just really enjoy learning something new, so their life purpose is to learn new things. So be open to whatever your life purpose being, whatever you go back to, or that whatever you go back to leads you on to a next chapter of your life purpose journey. So your third card is the Page of Emotions. This is a card of surprise. This is a card of spontaneity. This is a card of unpredictability. And I do think with this card involved that you are going to be surprised about your life purpose. It could be your life purpose is something that you previously rejected. Maybe you didn't think it was reasonable. Maybe you didn't think it was good enough. And the universe is going to shock you and prove to you when you go back to it, actually, it was always meant for you and you just got sidetracked. Or perhaps when you try this new thing, you discover something else amazing. Perhaps the person who looks into painting just happens by chance to start writing calligraphy on their painting, and then they realize that they love writing quotes and selling them to people, something like that. So, and it's something they would have never thought about. They would have never thought calligraphy was something they could make a living doing. And yes, you can make a living doing calligraphy. So be open to being surprised, because you are definitely going to be surprised, but you are going to be surprised in a very positive way. It is going to make you feel so much better about the world, and you are going to have so much more hope about your future because of this very happy surprise. The fourth card is the World Cosmos, and this is a sign of culmination, of completion, of being really involved or out there in the world. And with your spread so far, I do think you are going to be really connected to something bigger than yourself, and something that is immediately connected to other people, the environment, society, culture. So be aware that whatever you are doing is either going to be part of the zeitgeist of trends, or you are going to set trends, something along those terms. This could also be a sign that you are going to get out of your bubble. You are going to really push yourself. And since this card is upright and so much of the rest of your spread is positive and it's about you being more enthusiastic and even a bit assertive, you are going to really have the world open up to you. Things are going to look brilliant and beautiful and wonderful. And you're just going to feel really eager to try new things, or at least try new things related to what you're doing. And I'm really excited for you about that. It seems like you have so much joy to experience. Now, what I want to do is pull two cards from the Angel Guide Oracle to figure out what blessings or advice your angels have for you when it comes to your life purpose, or the journey to finding your life purpose. Okay, pile threes, angels, what words of wisdom do you have for them today? What blessings or advice? Okay, your first card from your angels is harmony and resolution. It does seem as if there is some sort of chaos or brokenness in your past, and even if that brokenness or disharmony isn't something you're currently a part of, you almost feel like it wasn't concluded, or if you didn't get any sense of resolution from that. And I think the angels are going to answer lingering questions that you have about your past or your current life that you feel have gone unanswered, and you are going to get an answer. And perhaps that blessing is going to be what helps you to go back to something in the past and try it out and be pleasantly surprised, because I do think that even if you had bad experiences in the past, those experiences aren't going to carry over into your present or your future. Things are going to be a lot easier from now on. The next angel card is blessings and abundance. So it definitely seems like your angels are working in overdrive, overtime, to make things so much more wonderful for you and more plentiful. So I think one of the reasons why you have been saying no in the past and why you are setting up boundaries is because you're afraid to have things that are yours that are taken from you. You are afraid that you won't have enough, and your angels want to set things right for you. They want you to feel like you have enough and that you even have so much that you could even give it away if you wanted to. But I don't think that your angels are probably going to expect that from you. Your angels want you to feel at ease. Your angels want you to feel like you can just get up and dance and you don't have a care in the world. So what I'm definitely seeing so far is that your life purpose either is to feel good, because some people's life purpose is simply that, to live life, experience wonderful things. Or it could be that if you have a specific thing you are sent to this earth to achieve, that it's going to make you feel wonderful. Not everybody has a purpose that makes them feel good or is fun to do. They're motivated to do it. For example, someone may go into an impoverished third world country to build wells or bring water, and it's not necessarily a fun thing. It can be dangerous, but it's something they're motivated to do. That's not what I'm seeing in your card. In your cards, your spread is about something more comfortable, about something closer to home, and why, yes, you are going to get out into the world. This sense of getting out into the world is in the context of being comfortable and being safe and being cared for. So be aware of that. So what I want to do now is pull 3 cards from the Spellcasting Oracle deck to get an idea about how you can manifest your life purpose into being. So universe, how can pile 3 manifest their life purpose into being? What do they need to know about making their life purpose happen? What would be helpful to know right now? And I think one of the reasons why you may not know your life purpose right now is that you're not ready to accept it. You may feel like you don't deserve your life purpose, but you do deserve your life purpose. Just because something is wonderful doesn't mean you aren't allowed to have it. You are allowed to have this wonderful thing. You are allowed to be comfortable, happy, and blessed. You have permission to have that. So your first card here is manifestation. This is really about using the law of attraction, and I think another pile today had this in this exactly first position, but this is a strong indication that you need to think about your vibrations, keeping your vibrations high, and using that to attract things to you. So definitely look into the law of attraction, but focus very strongly on raising your vibrations and being in a good place. So scripting's fine, that's okay, but if you were to do scripting, it needs to be something that affirms you. If you want to do affirmations, like guided affirmations, they need to make you feel good. So it's not about doing something, just saying the words, hoping it'll be a magical spell that will bring things into being. You want things that will help change your mind. So for some of you, subliminals might work really, really well. There's a lot of them on YouTube, and I think on perhaps podcast platforms. And the idea is that the words that are used or the music that is used will change your mind to think in a way that is more productive. And when your mind is thinking more productively, or in this case more positively, you are going to attract good things to you or act in a way that will cause behavior that will be that will do good things for you. For example, happy people tend to do things that make them happy, and sad people tend to do things that keep making them sad. So that is really what this manifestation is calling for, is about raising your vibrations and keeping you in a positive state of mind. The next card is grieving. So you need to emotionally process and let go of things that have hurt you in the past. You may be holding things back or trying to push things under the surface, and because of that, your shadow side is being activated. You are being triggered when things happen to you that you are trying to pretend don't exist, and because you aren't emotionally processing what you need to, it is hard to let go of the pain. So even though a lot of the initial triggers that caused you a lot of grief in the past are no longer active, anything that reminds you of that would cause you to feel really bad or to hide. So for example, let's say someone loved their dog, but their dog unfortunately died in a tragic way. And anytime this person sees a dog in public or a dog gets close to them, they are triggered and they feel like they are going to fail their dog. And they just run away. They don't want to deal with the dog anymore. And what this person would really need to do is learn to grieve the pet that they lost. It could be helpful to have a funeral or to have pictures of that dog, but it's definitely about saying goodbye and moving on with your life. It is about being okay with things getting better. So grieving is about letting go, but it's also about accepting a more positive future. And so you need to look into your grief. For some of you, this is something you can do privately, or perhaps you can ask a family member or a friend for help. Others may need to see a counselor or a therapist. It's really up to you. You could start things privately and then seek out other resources if it's not helping, but you really need to address your grief, because if you don't, you are going to be triggered and you are just going to fold in on yourself. You're not going to be able to experience positive emotions because you're just going to have setbacks. So tend to your grief. Your third card is financial health. So with this card, this is the universe telling you to be responsible with your money. You may be someone who buys things when you shouldn't. You may be someone who doesn't budget. You may be someone who isn't investing in your future and you're just hoping good things will happen. And I do think good things are going to happen to you, but the universe, I heard this the other day, the universe isn't going to give you blessings if you are going to squander it. The universe will only give you just enough. So if you are the type of person to where if you were given $1,000, you would immediately spend it on a bunch of online shopping and your life doesn't get better. Like, it's not like you needed a new wardrobe, you just bought a whole bunch of things because you could, then the universe is going to know that they shouldn't give you this blessing of money because it's not actually going to improve your life. So if you look into your financial health, either repairing bad habits that you have or investing in your future, perhaps thinking about your old age, your retirement, buying a house or getting a better apartment, all those sort of things, your life will improve because you're going to be moving in the right direction, and the universe is going to have confidence that any blessings and abundance that is sent your way is going to be used productively. Now, it really, I'm not a financial advisor, but generally every country has their own standard savings model. In the United States, I believe it is 50% of what you earn should go to your needs, things that you have to survive. 30% should go to your wants, things that aren't necessary for survival, things that are fun, all of that. And 20% goes into investing, generally 10% into your future, and the other 10% towards charity. But not everybody does the 10% charity. And again, every country is different. Your needs might be different. If you live in a city, you might need to spend 70% on your needs, but look into basic budgeting and investing in your future, because if you do that, things are going to get better. And of course, if this is something that is super confusing to you, or you have really bad habits and you know you can't do it alone, there are usually certified financial advisors in your country that you can ask for help. There are also books about it as well. Either way, tend to your financial health. It will improve your life. It'll help you feel secure in whatever life purpose you end up manifesting. So the last thing we are going to do today is pull 2 cards from the Super Attractor Oracle to figure out how you can attract this life purpose closer to you. So, universe, what does pile 3 need to know about attracting their life purpose? What does pile 3 need to know? What is important? How can they manifest? Okay, your first card has the wisdom message of, as soon as I choose to see the light in the dark corners, I redirect my power towards what I want. So there is always light in the darkness, and theologically or spiritually, most religions recognize that the darkness isn't really dark, it's just the absence of light, and it's light that is actually the ordering structure, the ordering principle to the universe, actual creation. And there can never be just darkness. Light will always prevail because light is creation. And I want you to recognize that there is always going to be light in your life, even when things are really, really difficult. And if you have faith that things can get better, that there's always going to be at least a speck of light that lights up the entire room, then you will know that there's always an out. You will know that you don't need to set up these harmful boundaries, and you will know that you can say yes to things. So that's not to say that bad things don't happen. They do. They happen to everybody. We will always encounter struggles, but you need to recognize that good things are going to happen to you too. And if you hold on to those good things, if you make the good things the meaning in your life, the things that give you fulfillment, the things that drive you, you are going to be better oriented to live towards the life that you want. A lot of people that get sick, for example, some of them, they don't despair. They look towards what they do have, family, friends, hobbies, and they focus on that as they are getting treated. And sometimes that really helps them heal, and other times they pass. But in the life that they had, whether it was short or long, they get to experience the good and not just the bad. And that's what I want you to focus on. You may find it especially helpful to have a gratitude list, or if you don't have the energy or time to write things down, make it a point every night before you go to bed or when you're brushing your teeth to say or think about one thing that you are grateful for that day, and that will really change you. I think there's actually a lot of science behind this making people feel better. So your last card today is, to begin the practice of allowing, I must get out of the way and let Spirit give me direction. So I don't want you to feel like you're powerless, but I do feel like you are saying no so much, and you're saying no because you are trying to be in control. But when you are trying to be in control, all you're doing is just refusing newness and creation into your life. And so instead of focusing on what you can do, focus on how you can react to situations and opportunities. What are you going to do if somebody gives you a compliment? Are you going to get really shy and say that that compliment isn't true? Or are you going to make a point to say thank you? That is something a lot of people do. They're afraid to be complimented, so they try to justify why they don't deserve the compliment. Instead, you should make it a plan to accept that compliment. Something as simple as that is an example of this card going right. So what I want you to do is really focus on how you can react positively to situations that come your way. Because if you do that, your life will be so much better, and you're going to be able to say yes to your life purpose. You're going to be able to find that thing that is going to give you existential meaning, whether that is just enjoying the wonderful things that life sends your way, or if it is a specific mission that is going to give you peace and purpose. So, pile 3, I'm so excited to be here with you for this really great reading. I really look forward to what you are going to discover, and if you appreciated this reading, be sure to like and subscribe for more. You can also go into the pinned comment or description of this video for links to my socials, or if you really like this reading, to my Ko-Fi to tip. Otherwise, pile 3, I hope you are going to be blessed, and I hope you are going to enjoy your blessings. I can't wait to see you again. Hello, pile 4, my flower pile. Welcome to your tarot reading. We are going to find out what your life purpose is by starting with the Work Your Light Oracle deck to get a general idea of how you can work your light into your life purpose. So, universe, what can pile 4 do to work their light into their life purpose? How can pile 4 live out their life purpose? What can pile 4 do to recognize their life purpose? Okay, your first card today is the Pillar of Light with the wisdom message of your vibration is rising. You are the Oracle. So this is an indication that you have intense energy. I'm going to pull the next card to figure out how to interpret the second sentence. The next card is the Ever Unfolding Rose. Cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. And this is just something that has occurred to me for some strange reason. I don't know why it's going to be relevant to this pile, but I'm going to put a link into my description. There is this science fiction story called, I think, A Rose for Ecclesiastes, about this guy that goes to Mars. For some reason, I'm really getting the sense you should read that if you have the time. But overall, with these two cards, what I am sensing is that something's going to happen to you, and it's going to happen for you. It's going to be an important event, and it's going to really engage a lot of spiritual energy and significance. So be open to that. It could be tied to a spiritual awakening or just a major event. Now, the third card is Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. So with this card, I'm getting a strong sense that you are going through a karmic or soul shift, that you had a life purpose when you were born, and it may have been tied to a past life, or it may have been what your higher self intended for you to do when you were born on this earth, but something changed. That happens a lot. People have free will. There's free will in people around you, so circumstances change, destiny can change, and it seems like that is happening for you in this case. You are going to experience a shift. It's going to be amazing. It's also going to be a little bit exhausting. It's going to be unexpected. It's going to feel almost like you walked through a door and ended up in an entirely different world. So whatever your life purpose is, it's going to be either something totally unexpected, or it's going to represent a shift in your life. Perhaps changing careers, changing your life, a midlife crisis, retirement, something like that. There's going to be a major shift in your life. So let's get some more details on that with the Muse Tarot deck. Universe, let's pull 4 cards to get some more detail about what is going on here. What is going on here, universe? What is this shift? What is going on here, universe? what is going on. And about that short story, A Rose for Ecclesiastes, it's one of those stories that after I read it, I didn't know what to think. I didn't have like an interpretation in my mind. I read it and it seemed like it wasn't for me. So maybe I read that story just to tell you guys to go read it. Maybe me reading it was just for you. I don't know. Either way, let's go to your first card. The Nine of Inspiration. This is the Nine of Wands in other decks. This is about overcoming, like you're basically in a war in your life and you got beaten down and it feels like you lost a battle or you just barely won a battle and you're about ready to go into the final confrontation. However, you do have support. You have spiritual support probably in this case. You may have a social network, friends or family. You aren't alone, but whatever you are fighting is worthwhile. So I do think that you are about to enter into some sort of conflict. It could be a spiritual conflict, an emotional conflict, a mental conflict, an actual social conflict with somebody, but you are meant to resolve that conflict, and by resolving that conflict, this thing that's happening to you, this cracking open, you are going to find your life purpose. Sometimes life purpose occurs through not necessarily an misfortunate event. Sometimes something surprising or really conflict-ridden can happen to you, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. But whatever this is, you are meant to solve the problem, and either how you solve that problem or what happens next, whatever that resolution is, that's going to be your life purpose. Your next card is the Six of Emotions reversed, also the Six of Cups reversed. And this is about rejecting your past. This is about rejecting things that you were comfortable with. This is about saying no to things that you used to do. And of course, this isn't saying that everything in your past is bad. Some who pick this pile may have had a wonderful childhood. I had a great childhood, no real complaints. So it's not necessarily for those who didn't have trauma saying that you need to reject the good things, and for those who did unfortunately have trauma, it's not necessarily saying you need to forget it. It is about not looking to the past for answers, whether your past was good or bad, and focusing on the future. This event, whatever conflict that you are going to resolve, because you're going to be the one to resolve it, it's going to mark a turning point in your life. It's going to be essentially year zero. It's going to be when your timeline starts. It's going to be when things are significant for you. It is going to be your point of reference. The next card is the Three of Inspiration, also the Three of Wands. This is about broadening your horizons, expanding your horizons, going on an adventure, planning to go on an adventure. It is about trying new things. It is about going to new destinations. You're kind of getting the sense here. I'm also seeing, you may barely be able to see it, but it is essentially a ghost door behind this woman or surrounding this woman. And this goes back to what I said earlier about you walking through a door and being in an entirely different world. For some of you, this could be a sign of leaving your hometown. This could be a sign that you should go to another country, that you should go exploring, that you should try something new. You need to change your environment. Now, this could be a physical change. It could be you moving to a new geographic location. It could be a new career. It could be a new relationship, but there's going to be something new. And by starting this new thing, it's going to create a domino effect, because we have the dominoes here. And this one change that you do, it's going to change the rest of your life. If you decide to reject walking through the store, if you decide to stay in your old life, and for some of you, you may make that decision because you like your old life, but if you were to walk through this door, everything about your life is going to change, and I think it's going to change for the better, but it's going to be unfamiliar. You're going to have trouble predicting or knowing what to expect of that future, but there actually is going to be a new plan for you. The universe is going to look at your life circumstances, and they're basically going to write a new destiny for you. And obviously you still have free will, but there's basically going to be a new string of fate that you're going to be following. So you aren't going to be completely alone. You're going to have the spiritual support you need. You are going to have people, spirit guides that are going to try to help manifest that future for you. So you are walking through a door into a new universe or a new world, but there is going to be a plan for you there. Your life purpose isn't about making you vulnerable. It is about sending you into a different situation, and a situation that you are going to be in control of in some way. Your next card is the Seven of Inspiration, also known as the Seven of Wands. Now, I do think, especially with this Nine of Inspiration card here, this is a sign that after your period of conflict, whatever you end up resolving, things are going to get easier for you. You're not going to be expected to stand up and do that same thing again. This is really sort of like a one and done deal. Once you resolve this issue is either going to be resolved permanently, or it's not going to be your responsibility anymore. It's going to be someone else's responsibility. So know that whatever event happens to you, it's not going to be, you're not going to have repeat. And as an example, imagine a romance novel. In any romance novel or romance movie, there is a plot, which means there's a conflict. But when that conflict is resolved, there is a happy ending, and the couple stays together for the rest of their life. That is something I'm seeing here. So whatever your conflict is, it may even be something that creates happiness, that can be enjoyable in the moment. So be aware of that, and once it is resolved, you're going to get your happy ending. So what I want to do now is pull 2 cards from the Angel Guide Oracle to figure out any blessings or words of advice that your angels have for you, your protective spirits. So pile 4's angels, what would you like them to know about their life purpose, about this conflict? What would you like them to know? Any reassurances or advice or blessings? What is crucial to know right now? Okay, your first card here is the Do the Work card. So this is your angels telling you that you need to physically do the work. They are supporting you here with this Nine of Inspiration card, but they can't do the work on earth that needs to be done. You are the only one that can do it, and it is a little bit scary to be expected to be responsible, but your angels are really telling you that it's absolutely necessary. The reason that you've been given this responsibility is because they truly believe you can do it, and they aren't going to be the Deus Ex Machina, that the hand of God that dives in and just changes everything. You really need to do it for yourself. You need to take charge. It is your responsibility. And they are going to support you, but you need to lead the charge. You need to be the general. Your angels, they are your backup, your soldiers in the army, essentially. The next card is Healing Energy. So your angels are going to do whatever they can to physically support you. You may find that you heal quicker, like physically heal quicker, like you're not going to get as sick. It could be emotional healing. Maybe you are mentally and emotionally stronger than normal, but your angels are definitely going to step in and make you feel healthier. Now, there's only so much they can do. If you lost a hand, they're not going to regrow your hand, but they're going to do whatever they can within the laws of physics and practicality to heal you whenever you get wounded. And because of this healing energy, this could be a sign that you need to be healed first before you can go into battle, or that you are going to have a few struggles, a few more battles ahead of you, and you need to be healed each time. But This is definitely a sign that you aren't going to be defeated. This healing is about helping you stay in the battle so you can win the war, and you are definitely going to win whatever the war is. And of course, I say war, but whatever this conflict is, it may not be that serious. It is a figure of speech. So what I want to do now is actually pull 3 cards from the Spellcasting Oracle to figure out how you can better manifest your life purpose. So, universe, what does pile 4 need to do to manifest their life purpose? What does pile 4 need to do? What needs to be done? Okay, your first card is answers. You need to either give answers or you need to receive answers, but there is something that is being left unsaid, and perhaps your angels or the situation are going to answer that, but this is a call for you to be honest, for you to be forthright. If somebody asks you something, you need to tell them what it is, and if you need something answered, you need to demand or ask nicely if the person deserves your politeness. You have the right to know the answers to things. So I do think that right now you are perhaps struggling with something. There's something you want to know, and you know the answer is out there, but for whatever reason, that answer is currently being withheld from you. And you either need to go out and try to get that answer, or you need to look within and see if the answer is within yourself so you can give that answer to someone else. But there's definitely something being left unsaid, and because it's being left unsaid, either you don't have answers or somebody close to you does not have answers. So definitely asking and receiving is important here. The next card is freedom. I think you are feeling a little bit trapped, either physically or emotionally, and you really need to focus on freeing yourself, of giving yourself more independence. And when I say independence, I mean being able to make decisions for yourself. So if there is something in your life where you don't have control, and whether you want control or not, you need to be able to have the permission to have that control. So if you live with family and you are feeling really controlled by that, even if you love them and they love you, perhaps you should find your own place. If your partner, your romantic partner, is picking all the dates or choosing how you spend money, you need to step in and start taking authority there. If you are feeling like your dark thoughts are controlling everything about you, that's called rumination, and it can lead to depression and other mental illness. You need to figure out a way to break that cycle, either through work that you do by yourself, seeking friends or family, or even a therapist. But you need freedom from something, and until you get that freedom, you're not going to be able to act with the authority you need to in order to resolve that conflict and step into your new world. So before you can enter into your new world, you need to be freed from this one. And that's going to really require asking yourself where you have limitations that shouldn't be there, because you actually do have the ability to make decisions for yourself. And this goes back to the Six of Emotions card, the Six of Cups card, about rejecting your past. And again, some in this pile may have had a wonderful past and no real complaints, but just because something was happy in the past doesn't mean that it is productive for your future. Sometimes comfort, even for those people who didn't have trauma, it can be its own kind of restriction because you're afraid to try new things. This is like the child who has helicopter parents, who does everything for them, who basically does everything to make sure they're comfortable, but then this child has a failure to launch. They never leave home, or they never really do anything they want because they're afraid of their comfort disappearing because they go against their parents. So look towards your freedom and try to have more autonomy. The third card here is the home card. You need to focus on making a comfortable home. This could simply be because when you're dealing with this conflict, you need a place to feel at peace. You need to be able to feel like you aren't unbothered. If you live with other people, this could mean having your own space, your own room, or your own corner. Maybe you can't have your own physical space, but you can tell the people that you live with during such and such time you want to be in this room by yourself. That's perfectly fine. This could also be a sign of making a home away from home, perhaps a third place that you meet with friends or family that you just enjoy each other's company and you feel comfortable. Like for some people this is a bar, it could be a library, it could be anything, but you need a place that is comfortable, that feels safe, and where you can go to when you are feeling stressed out or exhausted, and you won't feel like you have any unfair expectations put on you, where you are in complete control. So what I want to end with today, pile 4, is 2 cards from the Super Attractor Oracle deck to figure out how you can attract your life purpose to you, and what you need to know. So, universe, what does pile 4 need to know about their life purpose? What does pile 4 need to know? What words of affirmation do you have for them today? All right, your first card here is the universe has big plans for me and it's time to claim them. Now, we know that right now there's kind of 2 life purposes for you. There's the life purpose you were born with and the life purpose that you can manifest by walking through that door. And I think both of them, they were pretty big plans, but I think the new one, the one that you can step into, that you can manifest by walking through that door, it's going to be more significant, it's going to be more relevant, it's going to reflect the future you want to be. And so what you need to realize is that whatever this life purpose is, it's going to be something you're going to be excited for. It's going to be something that thrills you, and you just have to accept it. You just have to open that door and walk through it. You need to be enthusiastic. You need to want the best for yourself because you are allowed to want the best for yourself. It is okay to want your life purpose. And it's also a sign that if you felt when you were younger you were meant to do something and now you no longer feel like that is the thing, either because it doesn't match you or you accomplished that thing. Sometimes people accomplish their life purpose and they end up getting another one later on in life. It is okay to have that new thing and to say goodbye or let go of that old thing. So your last card today is I slow down and listen to the guidance that's available to me. So I do know in your spread that your angels in your spirit team are active. They aren't going to do all the work for you, but they are going to be present in your life. And this card indicates that they have a lot of advice for you. So remember when I said that you were the general in essentially a war and your angels are your fellow soldiers, the people that are serving under you? Well, some of those are advisors and they're going to have advice. They're going to have been out in the field and they're going to have really important perspective for you to hear. So you really need to be open to that. And there are a lot of ways that you can receive these messages. The best one is through your intuition. If you feel something to be true and there's no reasonable reason to think that, it's not based on evidence from your past or data, it's something you feel to be true, that is your spirit guide speaking. You may see signs or synchronicities in the environment that are essentially symbols or direct messages telling you what you need to think. You may do automatic writing or channel and get messages that way. But know that your spiritual team has messages for you that are going to be useful, and if you are open to receiving them, that is going to be a data point you can use to better result in the manifestation of your life purpose. Things could go quicker or more efficiently that way. So pile 4, you had a pretty exciting spread today. It seems like you are going to be stepping into something wonderful and new, something that may not feel fully formed to you yet because you haven't walked through that door, but once you do walk through that door, once you resolve whatever that conflict is, and I think you're going to resolve it just fine, your life is going to be really, really exciting, but you need to be willing to leave the past to do that. Otherwise, pile 4, if you resonated with this reading, be sure to like and subscribe for more. You can also go into the description of the video or the pinned comment for links to my socials or my Ko-Fi if you would like to tip. Pile 4, I am so glad that I could do this reading for you today. Your future looks brilliant, and I am really excited for you to live out your life purpose. I can't wait to see you again.